Welcome back to Bearded Iron, where I cover tips and tricks regarding weight loss. If you're new here, I began almost 3 years ago a calorie-restricted diet designed to help me lose weight. Now, since I've started this, I have lost over 70 pounds and I started this channel to help like-minded people achieve similar results. Now, one of the biggest issues that I face, and it was pretty much the reason that I got up to 270 pounds in the first place, is binge eating. Now, before I committed myself to this properly, I would binge eat for months, feel guilty, and then starve myself for months. I would gain and lose the same 20 to 30 pounds over and over and over again. This, as we all know, is called yo-yo dieting. And it's a cycle that we need to break to achieve lasting results. A few months back, I posted a video about recovering from a binge, which, considering Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, it seems more relevant now than ever. As I mentioned previously, these binges are what made me hit that 270 pounds, which at 5'11" isn't a healthy weight at all. But now, after 3 years of graft, I think I've finally got control of it. Right now, I feel amazing and better than I have in ages. In fact, right now, I may feel better than ever. A consistent routine of intermittent fasting with some sneaky protein-only snacks during the fasting window has got me dialed in. I wake up, train, and then grab a coffee protein shake, which if you haven't tried, I highly recommend. I buy Coffee Cooler from Protein Works, and then I go about my morning. I'll then eat nothing and drink only water until around 1 p.m. That is my fasting window. I then eat 2 regularly sized meals, one at 1 p.m. and one at 7 p.m. I've been aiming to eat at almost 2100 calories a day, which is basically 2 900 calorie meals and the mid-fast protein shake. Now, I can feel that I am in a calorie deficit because when I run, I get tired sooner than normal. And when I'm lifting, I'm a little bit lethargic between sets. You know, I'm definitely not weak, but I'm a little bit more tired than normal. But because I know why that's the case, due to the deficit, I'm actually okay with it. The plan is to keep this going until I hit 180 pounds. I'll then hold those calories another week or two, then ramp them back up to maintenance for a while and get in some good, solid resistance work. Now let's discuss the whole point of this video, binge eating. What I've discussed is my plan, 90% of the time. But sometimes the plan goes to pot. Recently, I went out with my daughter to buy some Christmas lights at a garden centre. While we were there, we bought a breakfast. Now, a full English breakfast with all the trimmings. That is probably around 900 to 1000 calories. Not bad, could be a lot worse. Then, when we got home, we shared a full bag of Haribo while watching TV. So that's another probably 500-600 calories. Again, not too bad. You know, 1500-1600 calories for the day so far. Then we didn't eat again until tea time. But I'd not technically eaten since breakfast. So we ordered a Domino's pizza. And obviously with Domino's pizza, it's got to be a meal deal as that works out significantly cheaper. So 2 large pizzas, 2 sides and a garlic bread. 3,250 calories. So that is 4,750 calories in a day and hardly any protein. Now, are these binges caused by the 90% intermittent fasting I stick to? Am I cutting back too much and training too hard? Is that what triggers my cravings to a point where they just take over? Obviously, eating nearly 2,000 calories over my target, even for a day, destroys the 4 previous days' 500 calorie deficits. Obviously, this doesn't lead to fat loss and does set things back. But here's the but, and it's a pretty big but. I don't necessarily call this yo-yo dieting. It is not yo-yo dieting. My binge has pretty much written off this week, but it's not written off the entire month. I am today, after the binge, far ahead of where I was last year. I'm not back at the start. Now, that's not to say that yo-yo dieting is not a thing. It's a real thing, and to be honest, it impacts thousands upon thousands of people. In fact, most of you watching my channel have probably experienced yo-yo dieting at some point or another. It was exactly the case for me in the past. I often go from 270 pounds back to 230 pounds, back to 270 pounds, and binge eating was always the trigger back to my old weight. I was working nights at the time, and I'd treat myself to a couple of cans of Monster Energy drink, and then an extra large bar of chocolate, and I'd enjoy them. So I'd do it again the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. Every time I would bounce back to right where I started. Even recently, although I've never got back to the 270 pounds, I have yo-yoed between 200 and 220 pounds quite a few times. Now, I'm not an expert, and there's probably better ways to deal with this. As I say, I'm just an ex-obese guy who knows what works for me to drop 70 pounds. It's probably not optimal to eat the way I do when you have a blowout. Obviously, 3,000 calorie binges are not a good idea. But I would argue that learning how to recover from them is far more important than spending your entire life trying to avoid them. That's a pretty much painful and dull existence that I want absolutely no part of. I am a foodie. I like food, I like pizza, I like burgers, and I know how to recover once I've had my fill. I deal with yo-yo dieting in a way that works for me, and you need to deal with it in a way that works for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bearded Iron out.